Welcome back to another official videos of Rose Scale videos for today inside of Rose Scale Sandbox. And where today that we're just gonna be trying to do this anyways that you're seeing the last time is the 464 Hiawatha as well. As we try to making for the first thing is probably not possibly to do this. And I wonder that we're gonna be using for this only one locomotive to do. So it's time to start for one thing that I'm just already guessed. It's not for this long big excursion trains, but the last video that is completely over 25 minutes from this video for the full service. But now it's time to try to do this. To start for is for the full service with the 464 Hiawatha, but to make things worse, the Hiawatha for the 464 had just broke down. That since for a while ago, and nothing wasn't for many years ago, for just nothing was long ago, we got one baggage car and five cars. We just absolutely five rail coaches as well. I think that must be one observation onto the back. And we're ready for service as we really interested to do this. Because if you're not interested with that train, that the last time that you saw the train that is not where back in the day, because there is only one whistle left, because instead of the bell, isn't probably like just work. So we have just set into another mode. It looks like it's gonna be a first time to all aboard to do this, because all the passengers have already aboard inside the train and we're officially ready to do this, and it's already to go. As instead we have one thing. Now I'm assuming that we're gonna be trying to switch all the way to this thing. The train has started to roll on, and this isn't going to be accelerating very much. It's absolutely started to get a little bit smooth, and I guess this is the last time that you'll see this before this train could be remodeled like this somewhere in the future. And you know why this isn't going to be just remodeled just like really fast. And whatever we try to do this, I'm not instead that I'm just going to be seeing throughout for the list of rail cars or some sort of a rolling stock, and it's going to be completely good to go, and it's going to be running a little bit of a short amount of time. And we think that is absolutely for some wheels is really extremely smaller, but Chinese, whatever we do. And I cannot believe this train is going to be a little bit pretty slow, and I should be able to make it 5. And the fastest acceleration goes to a little bit quick, but really slower, but as well. I cannot believe that train isn't going to be really fast. But I just set the speed into 14. And I'll be setting to 66 as well. That should be improving to the fastest acceleration. I really think the train is going to be good on acceleration like this. And perhaps that is absolutely going for safety. Let's go for the main line, as we just going to shooting out for just only one thing. And also, I'm bad at English, and this map was basically for anything, but without a comment as well. Everything wasn't absolutely for just basic like this thing. This is a layout instead of terrains and stuff that I just completely made here, like some sort of a spaceship reference. And the train is going to be around the mountains and into the tunnel as fast as possible before the train could get our first turn. And the first stop to do this isn't going to be just like, even though the train runs a little bit slow, like the drive wheels probably some sort of a Chinese reference. Even for many more like these things, it's still going to be rolling all the way out here, and I wouldn't able to see that coming. So, how am I able to still allow of this anything but without our property to do this and against their ridiculous freedom as well? Nothing that we're gonna be seeing this one moment that the locomotives are just gonna be accessing around all the way through. And we probably wanted to think about something about for old days of row scale sandbox that I just experienced for the first time, which is I'm probably not gonna be guessing around here. Even for the train's acceleration was pretty quick and most likely fast. I will not believe this isn't going to be just like through, but most likely it was really fast, and it's not fast, it's probably slow. The top speed was a little bit not good as well, especially the train goes really slow about for there's only one thing. The first stop is going to be at this station. Well, the first stop isn't going to be just like only one moment. And not just like the Dream Express or some sort of a Holiday Express. And look how for it is. It wasn't just like snow anymore, and probably this isn't going to be just like slow down. And but the train is going to be arrive really early as well. And you seen about the train will be stopped really early. Because I guess not. This is still going to be ridiculously fast. But all of a sudden, the train isn't really that fast. Are we probably to do this? Let's just do it for exactly as one. Before I could make things slow down, I think we're just gonna be trying to full stop on one. And then it won't be gonna be very it as well. And it's absolutely overshot it already. And that slightly did not fit as well. Because I'm really so close for the 0.30. This isn't going to be for one thing as well. I didn't believe this isn't going to be just like one that. The first stop isn't completely successful like this thing because of the brakes. Likely isn't going to be like that fast. It fixed perfectly. This isn't going to be just like I was saying like this thing. It already fits here perfectly, and nothing but the roofs like that I just completely added like this. And probably the passengers were going to have things for a little replacement, not replacing for just a couple of new passengers roll on board the train, and then I'll be taking for the 5 minutes as well. But I'm awaiting that the number 531 has just arrived at the station. I think that must be some sort of a Caltrain or something. So, something is absolutely arriving that I just completely randomly spawn a train. Unless this is absolutely going to be alright to do this. And our next stop that once the passengers has just completely got on board, we have to just turn on the headlights back on. I'm probably very sure how am I going to delete this train by the ways. And isn't going to be trying to just like, even though, to get things a little bit accelerate very much. I think the passengers have just gone on and getting their baggage ready for just only one time. It's not just some sort of a railroad trip as well. This is some sort of one thing wasn't going to be especially like to do. As the train has just went off by and started all the way into this thing as well. I'm probably not sure that I'm just going to be adding the railroad crossing by sounding the whistle, as we very never gonna be trying to head of this one. And so the train is absolutely going to be waited for a lot of minutes we wanted to do after the train has just going to be arrive at this station, and but I'm not sure that we're completely having for just a little bit of one nowhere as well. We having for such as a little bit of high speed run in about this one locomotive. If I just wanted to spawn a train or something that resulted for the graphic problems, there's a bit of a graphic problems as well. And I got too many skill issues for too much that I just completely wanted to say about this, and unable to do for my skills like this thing. And I'm starting to get a little old because I feel hopeless as well. Now the train is going into the passenger rail line, but instead of going into freight line, we really possibly indeed that we just completely wanted to do. And it's still going to get us for a full throttle and about for this one thing. Now new save limited has just completely added, and it's absolutely incredible for just having a lot of more data for to do this as well, for just doing this. Because if you want to see some other kinds of many more row scale videos, this is going to be 117 row scale video, 170 row scale video. And it's possibly that we're going to be doing for a full access to the main line. I'm not possibly that we're going to be wanting to say. It's not all about for just what, no matter what happens, to do this. And I kinda never believed that this locomotive feels a little bit stronger than ever. But unfortunately, this won't be able to get to do this any time to do. That will actually cause for some sort of a breakdown. I think the train might able to break down even during to going up at the hills of this locomotive as well. It does not actually try to get work as well. There's a bit of a problem to do this. I think I might be able to slow down the locomotive and whatever it means to get a little bit for just only one thing. Let's just go on to the right. But instead of there is one locomotive, I should be able to go keep right instead of modern things as well. I'm not pretty sure this isn't going to be just like one thing all overall. The train exceeds really slow. I don't really think that we're going to be doing this again. I think we just accidentally using for this only one. I'm going to be using 0.05. Isn't that going to be completely fit around of this perfect? I think that's a no. It will take it about 5 minutes to ride a train before getting off. And once the train has been parked into the perfect place and it stopped on time to do this, when I was just at attempt at this thing as well, let's just keep on moving, and the train is departing once again all the way to its third station. And I'm not sure that the train is going to go on top to do this. I think that doesn't not slightly going to handle anything it was, and before that slightly going to move a little bit for pretty good. This is absolutely starting to get a little bit pretty good, but then it on its for the final straight to get all the way up into the top, and away we go onto the bridge. The next stop isn't going to be just like this thing as well. So the coaches are just going to still survive anyways to do what I just going to be probably using for some sort of a locomotive and for some big GE P42. I mean, some sort of a Genesis that I'm just going to be using. I'm probably very sure that the locomotive was actually stuck, whatever to do. Maybe it's time for some 1300 horsepower. or maybe 1500 horsepower as well. I think that I'm just gonna be doing for 3500 horsepower. And this is slightly going to be a little bit perfect for DDD this as well. So, oh my god, I'm wasted from my English license that I just completely forget it. And pretty such as a waste idea of mine. Because maybe that you didn't count on me for my dislikes as well. Unfortunately, I was not good at English before that. I'm so cursed before that. Very cursed like this thing. And, oh god, I swear I too much for this. I'm tired of speaking some sort of in English and too many languages. I might be able to stop talking for too much. And what should be able to think about it like this thing? The train is going to go up into the hill as really fast as quick, and isn't going to be handled for just only one top. I really think it's going to be losing for a little bit of horsepower, and it's about to slow down as really fast as possible. And it does absolutely made it, but the temperature or some sort of, I don't really think this isn't going to be for some sort of a pressure. And wait, I just forgot to say about this, because I completely lost my mind forever. Because I was started to get a little bit dumb as well. So, really dumb at saying of these words. Before I might able to stop talking about for this. This is absolutely for keep on doing for basic things, for such as too much. And whatever it means to get all the way for just only one thing. Now let's get on to stage 77 on the pressure. I think this isn't going to be just like it's good pressure like this. And I'm going to be slowing it down as well to make things ourselves to the third station. This isn't going to be making a little bit fast. Now down to 70 miles. I'm probably not to do this. That's what I was saying pretty much. And it's on the way making to its third station. But it will be gonna be making took a while for just gonna be departed already. But looks like that must be a station in front of us, and it wasn't going to be just like it's always going to be so near. I'm probably not sure. The locomotive is going to be making things a little bit pretty slow, and not something that got to be really well as well. And I cannot believe I'm slightly going to get making, well, I don't want to think so as well. So one thing that I just going to be making things, I'm still going dumb as well. I'm pretty started to get retired. I think this is going to be such as that I'm just going to set up for the retire statement. And so the locomotive is going to be about to stop all over here. And the train could be able to lead that much. I'm trying to slow the train down. And here goes for the next stop as well. I think the next station isn't going to be just like very much as well. I think this should be leading to going to the left side. And the train should be leaded only one to do this. As we're just going to be absolutely for one complete stop. The train should be complete stop as well. But unfortunately, it did worst again. And I don't really think the train isn't stopped on time. It was always late, stopping for just only one thing. This isn't going to be just like complete as well. It absolutely missed the stop once again. For too much. It was a fail. I'm afraid if you probably tried to dislike of this video that this Milwaukee locomotive is on strike of this for the very first time. I'm probably not sure that isn't going to be stopping for just a little bit correctly as well. And nothing that we'll be using to do this as well. It was absolutely for a late breaking all the way to the train station to having for a complete sudden halt, and I'm not sure isn't gonna be trying to make things to try to stop the train on time into the train station, that once the passengers will get back on board inside of the train as well. And probably this should be gonna be making for our one last chance to complete stop, and it's all the way for its last stop, and we said absolutely next stop. I already missed the stop, and against the commuter locomotives like this for the commuter reference, I'm unable to stop early because unfortunately it was probably too much, extremely confusing for too much is what actually that I just completely wasted my mind as well. Now it's all the way to the last stop, and I hopefully this could cause for over 20 minutes of this video, but not in throughout for the long side to do this, what I was actually saying, but well, it's not going to be making for a lot of data, and not making for much more mistakes in about for this only one more. I'm not probably going to be end of this video, because I'm slightly worrying for very much in a matter of time. So it's gonna be walking all over to the bridge, as we might not able to be seeing for just only one moment. If we just gonna be seeing for this only one last time, this is gonna be the last chance that you're using the Hiawatha locomotive, like this old reference and stuff. Probably it's going to be taking for just only one thing. Even it's already across the bridge with a British whistle, and it's gonna be coming straight right on time and make our way to the completion of the main line series like this, or some sort of a mainline service. We're probably gonna be entering throughout the game like this. I'm probably really sure that is going to be still completely going all the way up into the top, and that isn't going to be just like this one thing. Not for small over for the many more like these things. The passenger locomotive, or some sort of an old styled commuter locomotive, is going to be coming straight on top, and that should be able to hit it around the mountains and through the bridge and into the tunnel. And if I just gonna be trying to stop this clip, I might not asking to do this as well. And before the video will stop, I can still hear the whistle from some sort of for the British whistle like there. And we'll be seeing the pass through for this locomotive is gonna be coming really fast, and it's hopefully that sound is going to be make it through. But as you can see, the wheels and probably nothing that would ever try to do for it is going to be the last stop. And if I just probably miss the stop again, for just only one thing to do this, I might not going to be making on time for this, and it's absolutely what happened. That isn't going to be just like this. And the train is going to be headed straight into the tunnel, as they completely still keep on moving as well. And now that time that is into the caves and into the tunnel as well. I may look at the locomotive in front when the tunnel that I'm probably not sure that I'm just trying to say. The train got out of the tunnel and is all the way out into the interlocking as well for the two-way. And it absolutely make it through. And this is where we just absolutely finally make it through around for this for a really one time. And the train is at full speed and looks like absolutely across the bridges, against two bridges as well. And not by the main line or the commuter line. I'm probably not sure that we should be able to completely still moving anyways. And it's still rolling all the way down into its final stop, because I guess this is absolutely completely moving. Not already possibly that indeed to do this. So all you have to do is try to stop the train on time. And this isn't going to be just like it's going to be insane like this thing. I really don't think this is hard to stop the train, and the train is going to slow down really smoothly, and I'll be making things for 10% out of a little bit of load like this thing to get things a little bit of work. 25% of throttle, and the train will be stopped right here to hit the zero, and all the way of this thing as well. And of course the train could be arrive on time, but meanwhile this isn't going to be just like one thing as well. And now the train is on the way already into the final stop. This is the train's last stop into the station. This could be the 20 minutes of this video in a 170 row scale video, and we probably making a lot of videos to do this, and I cannot believe this isn't going to be just like whatever we try to do this to get things a little bit accelerate like this one, as the train will be stopped all the way throughout the station, and it looks so long, and probably it was pretty perfect to do this whatever we tried. And I'm not going to be counting on for there's only one reference to do this. As the train completely stops onto the station, maybe the train station was really long, and I'm not sure the train will be going to be going to our last strike before the train is going to... Oh dear, this isn't going to be, it's just too late. I think this isn't going to be just like it's okay like this. And it's finally made itself into a halt, and it's officially in a complete stop, and that was a first success. An attempt was pretty finished to do this as well. Our last stop is finished, and looks like we're unable to turn back as well. And that should be the end of this video anyways. So if you didn't like this video about for a late stops of the stations that it just mainly passed through for just very much, it was actually a failure. But the last time that we just pretty saw this locomotive absolutely made it here into the station, and finally that we just probably tried to make a complete stop. The station is really long. It's so pretty long for just only one thing. It isn't gonna be to do this. When I actually save for many more things to do this in about of this video. But looks like I have for the free camera as well. And instead of this really things to do this, because that really got one big locomotive, a tender, baggage cars, 5 coaches, and an observation car as well. All the passengers have officially getting off the train, and that's it. Just subscribe to my channel and leave a like of this game is gonna be into the description down below. Thanks for watching and for all your support, and this is going to be Turbo Concept is signing off, and I'll talk to you rail fanners all later that I'm gonna be see you down the line.